Are you doing it? Getting busy? If you are, do it safe. Get yourself tested for HIV. It's safe, friendly, free, and it can save your life. Get tested week starts December 1st. So if you're doing it, do the right thing. Call 866-EXAM-HIV. That's 866-EXAM-HIV. HIV. Live with it. Get tested. Here's a question. Why are we putting people in jail for having HIV? What? You didn't know this? In more than 30 states, people living with HIV can be tried and imprisoned simply because a partner accuses them of hiding their HIV status. It often doesn't matter if you used a condom or were on protective medications, or even if the accusation is false. All that matters is that you're living with HIV. And even though it's easier than ever to manage the medical risk of HIV, outdated laws are still putting people like me at legal risk. Here are 5 things you need to know. Here's a spoiler alert, they're really just making things a whole lot worse. Number 1, a lot of these laws are left over from the 80s, when people were just plain freaked out about HIV, and even experts didn't have all the answers. Today, we know more. Fearful and ignorant was a bad look then, and it's a bad look now. Number 2, this is particularly true since we have medications today that can lower the chances of spreading HIV to approximately 0. Yep, you heard me. Take HIV medications every day, and it can be nearly impossible to pass HIV to a partner. So these laws are driven by fear and outdated medical knowledge. Number 3, these laws might actually be fueling the spread of HIV. Think about it. We're giving people a reason not to know their HIV status, since they're only legally liable if they do. And with that, we're driving people away from the medical system. There's a word for that, a bunch of words actually. Ridiculous, inhumane, and absurd. Number 4, there's no evidence these laws actually help lower HIV transmission rates. Plus, we know there are far better ways to deal with HIV. Maybe instead of making criminals out of people living with HIV, we provide better health care, or comprehensive sex education, or employment and housing stability, or a less punishing justice system. So basically, we can do less arresting people, more helping people. It's just a thought. Number 5, so why am I telling you all of this? Because you can do something about it. Go to this website and learn how you can get the word out. So we can ignore the fact that there are laws on the books that are still fueling an epidemic, or we can decriminalize HIV.
The Diva Den Salon. Call us today and schedule an appointment with one of our savvy stylists. Ask about our specials too. 303-745-1303 or visit thedivadensalon.com.
Happy day, happy day. It's another show, you guys, on HIV criminalization. I always tell you guys it can happen to you. Hey, Sandra. Glad you're on. Haven't seen you on in a while. day, everybody. Happy Saturday. I'm glad you're here too. Happy day, happy day. This is Positively Dee discussion. You have to remember that HIV still exists. You have to get tested. You have to use protection. And if you have contracted HIV, you can get on medication and you can live a better, healthier life. Today, the show is on HIV criminalization. And my guest today is Michael Holder. I'm going to read something about Michael, and then we're going to bring him on. But this topic has always been a touchy topic. Every time I have this show, it's a touchy topic. Everybody has their own opinions on HIV criminalization. Some people believe in HIV criminalization and feel that people should be criminalized for HIV. And then some people feel that people shouldn't be criminalized for HIV. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk to Michael about this. And I'd like to have your guys' opinion. Okay, I'm going to read this. It's from something I pulled up on HIV law and policy. HIV-related stigma is among the most formidable obstacles for people living with HIV and their advocates. Stigma is a product of misinformation and a broad acceptance of certain human characteristics or behaviors or bad or spoiling of individuals' identity. HIV-related stigma is a significant public health problem. It creates very real obstacles for people with HIV in obtaining treatment, housing, education, and employment, all of which are essential to our health. Because HIV and the behaviors or identities associated with it, such as being gay or using drugs, are still stigmatized, confirming or disclosing one's HIV status is still widely perceived as socially dangerous. HIV-related stigma discourages testing and prevention practices and creates confusion about the routes and relative risk of HIV transmission. HIV-related stigma is also tied to and compound by stigma and discrimination associated with sex, race, ethnicity, immigration status, poverty, sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. So right now I'm going to have Michael on. I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to talk about what he went through. Sweetie, I don't know why you can't see it. I'm on. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm blessed.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a blessing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is a blessing. Okay, everybody. Today is Michael's birthday.
Yeah. Thank
Today is Michael's birthday, and that's a blessing.
you. Yes.
Michael was diagnosed with HIV in 1993 when he went to prison for retail theft and burglary. He was released in 1998. He met a woman when he was released, and they developed a relationship. And they moved in together, like many of us do, you know. The relationship was rocky, of course, you know, like some of our relationships.
Yeah.
And once the relationship ended, the young lady told authorities that Michael failed to disclose his status. So in 2000, Michael was being charged with HIV criminalization. Michael,
Yes.
let's talk about this.
All right.
You talked about with me, you know, that the young lady knew that you were diagnosed with HIV.
Yeah.
Explain to everybody why you know this.
Well, she had asked, and it was, being said on the streets. But when I came home, I was big and strong, and I had a reputation. And she had heard about it, but because of my reputation, she didn't want to be getting ran out the bars, and we was together. That was my girlfriend. That was,
Yeah.
there was love there. We lived together. When she go to work, I watch the kids. We was a family.
Yeah.
It was on. We would argue. We'd have a lot of, because she was controlling. She wanted to control me, and I had been controlled from being locked up. And I didn't want to be controlled. And finally, I broke away, and she told my sister that if she couldn't have me, wouldn't nobody have me. And she went and she brought charges. And
She brought charges against you,
yeah,
and you went to prison.
she said, yeah, she said that I former. They was at me anyhow. They was already at me.
So talk to me about this. Because you knew she knew.
Yeah.
And me and you talked, and you talked to me about how she recanted her story.
Yeah. Well,
and when she recanted her story, did they not believe her?
it was the first case in Bay County. My case was the first case in Bay County.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, this is an African American black man with HIV with a white woman. And gave me a jury, 11 white women and one white man. And
Yeah.
they was racist or biased against me. One of them called me a horny coward, and I ain't never molested or raped a day in my life.
Yeah.
And they all sat on my jury. And she recanted. The whole.
And Michael, the sad part is, this is not the first case where someone went and told authorities when they already knew.
Right.
There's a gentleman I know named Robert Settle who this happened to, and
Yeah.
it ruined him. He had to register as a sex offender. So this is not the first time I've ever heard of this. And you said you guys had children together and everything.
She had children. I raised them. I was there.
Okay.
I was a father to them. We lived together, and she had to go to work. I took them to school, and I took care of them. I'm the one that raised them. But
Now, let's talk about her recanting her story.
Okay.
Once her story was recanted, of course they didn't listen because they gave you time.
Right.
How much time did you get for HIV criminalization?
They gave me the max. They couldn't give me another day. They gave me the maximum. They gave me 10 to 15 years and sent me to prison. When I got to prison, they said that I had sex with her during the time that I was on parole and violated the parole, and the judge signed the paper and put 30 more years on me. So it made it 10 to 45 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
hey,
But you out.
and she stuck by me the whole time.
Yeah, that's another thing for everybody that's watching. Although the young lady said that he did not disclose his status, then recanted. Then once he started his time, she was visiting him occasionally and sending him money and what have you. So she was still there for him.
Oh yeah.
That it's the sad part is that should have showed that she knew that he was diagnosed, but Michael still had to do the 8 years that he did in prison. So Michael, what were you when you went back to prison in 2004, HIV criminalization?
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take before you were even able to get on meds?
What happened was I was in jail, and my attorney told me that if I started taking the medication, that he would file a motion to get me a medical release, and I wanted out of jail. I didn't want to be in there, so I started taking the medicine.
Yeah.
And they still, then they did what they did. They denied all my motions. They denied everything, and they did what they did. And she recommended. I got the victim impact statement. She recommended time served, and me and her go to counseling, but they gave me the max, and sent me off to die. But God brought me back.
Yeah. Someone's asking a question.
Yeah.
Michelle wants to know, did she get mental help? And did he ask her to moving? Did what, Michelle? I'm not really understanding. Did she get mental help? And did he ask her to moving away from him? I'm not understanding that part, but did they ask her to get mental health because she lied? Nothing was done for her lying and recanting her story?
They threatened her with perjury when she took the stand and said that she was going to recant. They threatened her, and they had a sheriff officer come and escort her out in the hall like he was going to take her to jail. And she still came in and recanted and said that, what had happened, that she told the truth. That she had talked and she knew. And, she had been coming to see me the whole time. She had went and talked to the judge and tried to get it dropped before it ever went to trial. She tried to get it dropped. She went to the judge and tried to get it dropped.
Oh, they knew. Yeah, they knew.
Yeah, but they wanted me, and they didn't want me on the streets, and they wanted to destroy me. Truth be told, they know it and I know it. Some of them gone, some still around, but I'm,
and she's asking, do you still see her? Did you say you didn't want to see her again after that?
No. She tried to take care of it. She recanted and tried to correct her mistake, her bad action. So I wasn't mad at her. I forgave her. I know, things happen when people, and to this day, I still got love for her. I always will. I mean, we got history together, No, I don't see her. She lives in another state. I live here, but when I came home, when I got out, she came and seen me. She came, a long ways away and seen me.
Now, you did 8 years. You got out in 2008?
8.5 years.
Oh, you did 8.5.
8.5 years.
you got out in 2008, right?
Yes, December.
Tell us. Let us know what was going on in your head when you went to prison for HIV criminalization. Because I know you had mentioned to me that it was like you were getting ready to die.
I was at one point when it first came out, when they put it in the newspaper and it came all out like it did in the social media and all. I was facing 2 life sentences and 30 years. They'd sent my best friend from prison to wear a wire on some cocaine, buying from me, and I went to jail for that. But when I got into jail, 10 days later they came and they charged me with the HIV, and I was laying on the cold concrete floor facing them 2 lives and 30 years, and I couldn't swallow Jello. I knew,
Yeah,
it was over. It was curtains, and all I could do, nobody wanted to see me or talk to me or nothing. Didn't want to have nothing to do with me. I prayed, and I got better. Things got, I got better. I kept praying, and things got better, and I went to trial. They did what they did, gave me 11 white women and 1 white man. 5 of them admitted they was racist.
yeah,
She recanted and cleared me. I took the stand and testified that I told her. And we both testified in court that we loved each other. Just wanted to get back together. We
and they still keep you away for HIV criminalization.
but they
Okay. Someone has a question. She says, "Why did she put those charges on you?" Michelle, we talked about that. Because she was upset because the relationship was ending, and that's why she did it. Because the relationship was ending, and she didn't want him to end the relationship.
She didn't want me with the new girl that I was with after she had done. I just came home from prison, and she had took care of me. She bought me my car. She bought me my clothes and jewelry, and but she was too possessive. So when I started seeing the other young lady, she wasn't having it.
Okay, now Sandra wants to know the reason for her not being charged. Do you know the reason for her not being charged?
Yeah, probably because they got the conviction. They convicted me. They got what they wanted. They got me off the streets.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted.
Now, how was it for you after the 8 years and you were out? You didn't have to register as a sex offender, right?
No.
Okay. Were you on parole?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing you didn't have to register as a sex offender because they make a lot of people diagnosed with HIV, the ones that are getting charged with HIV criminalization. They make them register as a sex offender. So that's a blessing that didn't happen to you.
It's very much
Yeah.
Joe would want to go on there because they automatically think of you as like a pedophile.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm on the sex registry. They think like I'm, and I love children.
Yeah. Well, it happens to a lot of people, Michael. Someone says, let me see what this says. She says it's extremely sad how individuals like Michael have been prosecuted. Unfortunately, this can happen to any individual. Exactly. And that has always been my point, sweetie. And this is the reason why I do not agree with HIV criminalization law, because the laws are put in all together. They don't take them and pick and choose which ones. Once we are diagnosed with HIV, I have said this over and over, we are already criminalized.
It's horrible.
Somebody can come back from years ago from me and lie and say that I did not disclose my status, and I could be put away. You have women that are sex workers and they give oral sex, and Michael's screen just went away. And they can be put away for not disclosing their status for having oral sex. So, I mean, this is a tough one, you know? And again, I'm just not going to agree with HIV criminalization until these laws are changed. Because it can happen to you, it can happen to me. I tell a lot of people diagnosed with HIV, especially those that are not open with their status, please be careful. If you are in a relationship with someone and they're not diagnosed, because they can turn it all around on you. And I'm going to wait for Michael because his screen, like I said, went out. So if anybody wants to learn or know about the HIV criminalization laws in their state, they can go to hivlawandpolicy.org, hivlawandpolicy.org. Click to the left, I believe, where it says search the laws in your state, and you type in your state, and it'll bring up the criminalization laws in your state. This is something that we constantly need to talk about. This is a tough one for so many of us. Like I said, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to HIV criminalization. You have Monique Howe, Ken Pinna, I hope I'm saying your name right, Ken, Robert Settle. There's so many different individuals that have been criminalized that I have become close to. And the stories, they hurt when you hear their stories. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Michael back on. And he can finish what he was saying. Hey, Michael. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Someone here. Oh, Rick. Hi, Rick. Rick says that Positively Aware's latest issues. You can't see our face while I have that up. Focuses on HIV criminalization. There's also an article that discusses situations like Michael's. And then he put the link there. Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you. And then we can read that. And I'll probably try and go to it and pull it up while we're on. But do you remember where you left off at, Michael?
Yeah, well, I remember where we was at, and I wanted to put my imply to it, where you was talking about HIV criminalization laws. Here in Michigan, it's MCL 333.5210. Michigan Complied Law Failure to Inform. And there's a lot of misconceptions where the media has misguided the community, where the HIV case was concerned with me. They put it out like I had deliberately infected her or something of this nature, but the charge was not infecting because I asked that they test her, and said it doesn't matter whether she's positive or negative. Yeah. You're not charged with infecting her.
It doesn't matter.
Informing her.
You are being charged for not disclosing yourself.
And now with this law, from what I'm seeing in the community, and I'm out here every day, and I'm talking to people every day. What I'm seeing is people are not being tested because people don't want to risk having done to them what was done to me.
That's part of the reason. A lot of people that know about the criminalization laws, it stops them from wanting to get tested, even if they think that they're diagnosed with HIV because of this.
Yes.
And somebody here says Louisiana just changed some wording for the HIV law effective August 1st, 2018. But it still leaves loopholes. Yeah. There's always going to be loopholes, sweetie.
Yeah.
And this is tough. It really is tough. And let's talk about You equals you, Michael.
Thank
Because
you.
that's how I met you.
Yes. Yes.
And Michael knew nothing about if you stayed on your medication 6 months or longer.
Yeah.
You become virally suppressed.
Yes.
That means you cannot transmit HIV. And when he found this out, it blew him away.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell everybody about that, Michael.
Yeah. You equals you. Undetectable equals.
Yeah, look at him smiling. He loves it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't pass nothing but love and knowledge and good.
That's it.
That's all I can pass.
Yeah, that's it. But it you know, the thing is, they don't use you equals you when there's a case.
No.
No, they haven't done it yet. And I'm sure years down the line that it's possible that it will happen, but it hasn't happened yet. You equals you has only been around a couple of years.
It's
But
right.
a lot of us knew many, many years ago that we could not transmit HIV.
Yeah.
But the campaign started just in 2016.
Right.
Tell everybody what you did though on your Facebook page, because that's how I found you.
Oh yeah, I did a video. Finally, it was 25 years since that I got diagnosed, and I remember I was just coming to prison, just starting my bit, and they told me that I was HIV positive. I couldn't understand it because I was always told that you get HIV or AIDS by shooting dope or by messing with a homosexual. No one never came to the prison and told me that you can get it from a female. So
Yeah.
I did all them years, and I got out. I was big and single and strong and in the, in them bars, and living, doing my thing. I didn't know. And they asked, when they told me, I told them, you maybe check the other arm because I didn't do these things,
Yeah.
multiple females. And
Well, they a lot of heterosexual men that are diagnosed. That's why a lot of them don't speak up. Is because they're afraid that people are going to think that they're gay. And a lot of times that's how they get labeled, even from the doctor.
Right.
They don't believe them. And I'm here to say that I know for a fact that heterosexual men can contract HIV from women.
Yeah.
I know a few men diagnosed with HIV that are not gay, and they're living with HIV. So it can happen. So never let anybody out there, never let anybody make you believe that it can't. And don't always think just because a man is diagnosed with HIV that he has to be in a relationship with another man to contract it, because he doesn't. She says we have to disclose our status, but nobody discloses if they have gonorrhea, syphilis, or any other illness. Oh, you are absolutely right. We always talk about that too. We always talk about that. Nobody discloses if they have herpes or anything. But there are a few states, Michael, not a whole bunch of them, that put people away for not disclosing when they have herpes. Yeah.
Now I haven't went into I know here in Michigan, that's the only one, not hepatitis C or nothing. And then that they got the heroin epidemic with the needle. It ain't a crime, like I said before. If you take your 2 fingers and you penetrate a female and you don't tell her that you tested positive for HIV 25 years ago, that's a crime. They can send me to prison. But if you take that needle and you poke it in you and then you poke it in the next one, that ain't a crime.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a crime, because what it does is it prevents people from being tested, where they could get tested and in 6 months' time they couldn't pass it.
Yep.
What we got to do is break that stigma, and that having a law on a health condition is doing more harm than it is good. You might
Yeah.
get 2 or 3 people charged with it, but you're keeping thousands of people from getting tested and saving their lives.
Yeah. Oh man, Michael, you are absolutely right. Do you know how many lies will be saying if people would just I call it in denial? Because there are people that have a feeling that they may have contracted HIV.
You know, D,
But they're in denial.
you know,
And they won't